here at the 2015 Monaco GP. While other drivers have achieved and even surpassed 7 consecutive poles,
2025 is underway, and so is Division 1. Back again in F1 Total. This is round number 9 for season 15, and as you can see, we are at the Monaco Grand Prix with this beautiful shot showing the Monaco pit lane. Round number 9, the last third of this season 15 here in Division 1. Qualifying is about to go underway here in Monaco, and we can see a hectic grid of 17 drivers. Weather is all wet, all dry. Sorry, big difference. It's all dry actually, so no rain expected. Thankfully for the drivers who have to chase that perfect lap around Monaco to try and claim the best position you can ever claim, because most of the time your qualifying position in Monaco is also the same race position you'll have by the end. That's if you don't crash, because obviously we all know Monaco, the absolutely hardest track of all for overtaking. There's just barely any space for 2 cars at any given point of the track, so any overtake that we might see here is truly gonna be something special. But now all of the drivers are coming out to the pit lane to start their first lap of the session to claim that infamous pole position around Monaco, one of the most beautiful achievements you could get as a driver in a Formula 1 career. And now we can see Felix, who is gonna start his first lap, his first qualifying lap around Monaco. Starting on the straight, there's barely any space between the finish line and turn 1 as you brake for turn 1, send the water into 4th gear, and now going uphill into Blue Rivage and Matina into turn 3, downshift aggressively down to 4th gear, and now going into Mirabeau. Sector 1 is over with an 18.3, and now going into Mirabeau and the hairpin, probably the only corner of the track where you go into 1st gear, and also having a lot of rotation from your rear brakes. And now coming into Portier, turn number 7, overtake on the exit, and now we are into the tunnel for turn number 9, and now we start this second half of the circuit with the new chicane, 3rd gear all the way through, and get a beautiful exit on the right hand side, and now 5th gear into the back, and now the pool section into 4th gear, and now going into Raskas, braking down to 2nd, short shifting up into 3rd, into Anthony Nog. Felix goes 3rd gear, overtake enabled on the exit, and Felix for his first lap, he's gonna set a 1:8.8, but now we have also Sauber, looks like closer to the finish line is Alex with his first lap with a 1:10.8, exactly 2 seconds lower than Felix. We have, I think, the 2 Williams. Yes, it is Sharmol across the line with a 1:21, so he made definitely a big mistake. But Car Tracer goes faster than Felix and sets on 1:08.6, provisionally the fastest time of this session. There is a Haas close to the finish line. It is gonna be Edwin using overtake across the line. It's a 1:10.0, so provisionally P3 for the Lithuanian driver. There is an Aston Martin, it is Fanta Fox starting up, and also a McLaren of Actually finishing his first lap, burning all the energy available, and he has a 13.2, so very far off Alex. Dylan goes up into P3, a 9.699 for the second Haas driver. There is a Red Bull now, it is Morgan with an 8.9, so just a sense slower than Felix. Now he got up into 3rd. There is the other Red Bull of Nael. I think he's an NLR driver, I'm not sure, but he's a new face joining us for today's Monaco Grand Prix. Now we have another Sauber, it's Alex who does immediately another hot lap and improves by 1 second, but he stays in P5 with a 109.7, but not too far off of Dylan. Sharmul now improves by 11 seconds, but still is not able to place himself ahead of Edwin, so Sharmul is in P7. Sully in the Mercedes is taking his first lap, it's a P8 for now, a 10.3. There is another Williams across the line, I think it's Cut Racer. Caceres is starting another lap, so he definitely has a lot of fuel to try and improve his best. Phantom Fox, Ines Martin, P7 as of now, between Edwin and Sean Muller. It's P7 for Phantom Fox. Now there is the Haas of Dylan. Is he trying to go for another lap? He's just starting another lap without going into the pits. That's the thing about Monaco. It is such a short track, the shortest track of the calendar. You can have a lot of laps of fuel available, even on the minimal load. So we can see drivers very often do 2 hot laps in a row or 2 hot laps separated by another out lap. Dylan is improving by 2/10, going down into Mirabeau and braking into first gear for the hairpin, short shifting into second, and it's a very, very nice line through Mirabeau and through Portier as well. Second now, short shift up into third. Dylan is provisionally in P5. Sully actually improved to P4 with a 9.4, so let's see if Dylan is still improving by 2/10. Now into the chicane, very close to track limits and extremely close to the wall on the left hand side. Now into Tabacca, 5th gear, and in the swim push chicane, 3/10 of improvement as of now. 15 and 16, a very, very heavy brush to the wall on the right hand side, but now short shifting up into second gear for Rascassa and Anthony Nogo. Third gear, fourth gear, overtake on the exit. Does Dylan still improve? Yes, he gets P4 out of Sully and gets a 19.4 as his best lap time. And I do think there is actually 9 in the pit, so we have a bit of a break. Many drivers were pushing for the first out laps, and wow, it was an intense first part of qualifying here. And at the moment, Cat Tracer is the fastest man on track with a 108.6, and Felix is on the out lap, still looking to improve 8.8. So 2/10 of improvement needed, almost exactly 2/10 of improvement, as we can see here from the leaderboard. But now Felix for his second run of the session, and he starts the lap now, braking for Sandevot, turn 1 and into fourth gear he goes with a lot of rotation on the rear, up into Bourivage and Massenet once again downshifting aggressively into fourth gear, and it's a very, very beautiful Casino Square corner done, improving by 88 thousandths, and now braking for the hairpin. Doesn't have a lot of rotation on the rear as he did on his previous lap. Second gear all the way down through Portier, now short shifting up into third, overtake on the exit, and we go flat out into the tunnel. But now the Nouvelle Chicane will be one of the most important corners to try and improve. Very close to track limits. Oh, Felix clips the inside wall and he's out. That's the end of qualifying for Felix as he clips the inside wall of turn 11, the exit of the Nouvelle Chicane. That's qualifying done for the man who needs to gain as many points as possible on Car Chaser in the championship. Car Chaser is still leading by 13 points, if I'm correct. Yes, 13 points, and Felix could have had a beautiful occasion to try and gain it, but with P2 in qualifying, that's gonna be a very, very difficult task. The only way you could claim P1 from P2 would be with an undercut, which could work massively. Strategy will be a very important factor to try and gain positions, probably the only way to gain positions, but at the same time, consistency will be one of the most important skills a driver could show around Monaco, to try and stay out of the walls for a whopping 39 laps. Real life Formula 1 drivers do 78 laps, but here we do 39, which is still a lot, and it really tests your mentality and your skill as a driver. Morgan has invalidated his lap and is currently in P3, but now we'll start one soon. The Red Bull driver coming out of Anthony Long, overtaken enabled, and let's see if we can find someone of 2/10. Scarpes has crashed as well, probably in the same corner as Felix. Yeah, it looks very, very similar to Felix's crash. Just all the way to the left, and always as well. Has he crashed? I don't see him. No, I think he was standing in the pit, so I'm not too sure. Morgan now going down here into Portier, still second gear and really pushing the steering wheel to try and turn the car as much as possible. It's already the maximum downforce setup on the cars, but you are still pushing the car to the absolute limit through these corners. Actronic has retired as well, and I do think he returned in the pits. Now Morgan goes into Tabak, and with a very slight brush on the right hand side, the car chaser improves his provisional pole position time to a 108.5, but Morgan is really pushing through Raskas and through Anthony Nog, slightly missing the apex on the right hand side, but it was ever so slight. Now Morgan is absolutely pushing to the line, and he gets P2, improves by 2/10, and now we start the race above Phoenix, but Nile goes a second faster than Car Chaser on 107.4. The Red Bull claims pole position ahead of Car Chaser with a beautiful lap and a massive gap, 1.027 seconds. It was such a shame I didn't see the lap, because it would have been absolutely brilliant to see that, but yeah, that's how it went, so apologies for that. I really would have wanted to watch the lap, but maybe we'll have another chance later on. Who else is pushing? We can see Dylan in the Haas pushing through Tabaka and through the swimming pool chicane, and now into turn 15 and 16, into Raskas, downshifting down to first gear and short shifting to second and third gear. DRS enabled. It doesn't really matter DRS, but it does matter in qualifying, and he improves by almost 2/10 but stays in P5. We have Sully on the outlap. We have Edwin pushing. I'm not sure if he's pushing. He's down by a 10th and a half, more or less, after sector 1, and he's trying to set it up through Portier, but it does look like he made some mistakes. I'm not really sure. But now the Haas is into the tunnel, and for the Nouvelle chicane, brakes into second gear and invalidates. It takes too much care, but cast inside too much. It's an invalidated lap time for Edwin. Jonathan is pushing Felix, his teammate. He's down into P11. I think he might have found some traffic in the tunnel there, but now he brakes aggressively into second gear, slightly bottoms out on the curb. That's not really ideal, but you can still make up a lot of time. But he actually brakes heavily for Tabak, downshifting up into fourth gear, down to fourth gear, and he's not improving at all. He's down by 7/10, so I doubt we will see. Yes, Jonathan is indeed going back into the pits, and between the back markers no one is pushing. Sully is pushing, improving by 23 thousandths of a second as of now, after sector 1, coming out of Portier and coming out of the tunnel. Let's see how the Mercedes driver takes the Nouvelle chicane, as 5 minutes are left on the clock. Now it improves even more by 107.1, and once again I don't watch the lap. I am very sorry about that. Sully improves by almost 2/10. He's looking very fast through the swimming pool chicane. Now braking for Raskas and staying all the way up in the inside, but he brushes the wall on the right hand side of the Anthony Nogues, just takes the apex a little bit too much, and indeed does not improve at all. But Nile has improved once again with a 107.1, and I still didn't watch the lap. I don't know if he's gonna go back into the pits or maybe set another one, because I mean his softs are 3 laps old. Like, that's something. On a 3 laps old set of softs, you set a pole position that is 1.3 seconds ahead of P2. That's something. Alex is about to start lap. He's currently down in P8 and not too far from Phantom Fox. Even just a slight improvement of just a few hundredths of a second could be enough to go ahead of Phantom Fox. And if he finds some sense, maybe he could challenge Sully or even Dylan. Now he goes back into the pits. 3 minutes and a half left on the clock. I don't know if we will see another lap. Morgan on the outlap. Sully is pushing as well as Alex, and Sully improves up into P5 with 4/10 and a half of improvement. What about Alex? He's improving by 3/10 and a half. And across the new chicane, he carries out some speed, and Alex crashes just the same way as Felix, clipping the inside wall on the exit of the new chicane. That's qualifying done for the Sauber driver. Stuck in P8, he will not improve, and if Edwin improves enough, Alex could be in big trouble, dropping down to even 9th. Now Edwin is pushing through Burivage and Massenet, stays in 5th gear actually, downshifts into 3rd actually for Casino Square. Nyla has retired, so we will not have the chance to see a heck of a lap around Monaco, to see the lap that was able to claim pole position. Edwin out to Portier, overtaken Able into the tunnel. Now the new chicane has caught a lot of drivers off guard. Edwin is not caught off guard, he stays very far from the wall on the left, but not too far from the wall on the right, as he clips the right hand wall and even the left hand wall through Tabak and the swimming pool chicane, and even after that many clips, many brushes for Edwin, so I doubt we will see an improvement. He's just absolutely riding those walls. Well, he's riding them, but he's not gaining anything, so yeah, he's down by 1.3 seconds. Sharmul is improving by almost 4 tenths. He could be a threat to Edwin, Alex or Phantom Fox. Now the new chicane, he actually goes slightly deep, slightly tense in the pit lane. Shamul does the new chicane just right, into the back he goes, and very nicely improves by 7 tenths. Shamul is absolutely flying, and his teammate, he's just ahead of him, and he lets him pass, but the traffic barrier caught him off guard, and he goes deep, breaking for Askas. For Anthony Nogueira, he stays in 3rd, overtaken Able. Does Shamul still improve by 7 tenths across the line, almost 6 tenths of improvement, puts himself in P7 between Dylan and Phantom Fox. Is Catchracer able to get pole position out of 9 tenths? Probably not. He's 1.3 seconds away from that, but look at that, he's carrying so much speed through the corners. 4th gear for Casino, and now ooh, absolutely braking hard, locking the rear for Mirabeau and for the hairpin, but I don't think that was intentional, and I do think he may have lost a lot of time from that. But it still looks like he's pushing, despite the massive drift he had through Mirabeau. Morgan is invalidated, but he will start on a lap now. Cat Racer is actually still improving by a tenth after Section 1, but that's definitely not what he needs. He needs a second, not a tenth of improvement, but he's down by 6 tenths, so I doubt that this is gonna do much. I doubt it is gonna be of much help. He even slightly locks up. Morgan has just started another lap. Could we see a Red Bull 1-2? Because if Morgan improves by just a few hundredths of a second, he could qualify himself ahead of Cat Racer, and it would be massive for the Constructors' Championship for Red Bull, who at the moment is in 8th place. So yeah, a 1-2 will definitely be very useful for Red Bull in the Constructors. They're not fighting for the championship, but it will still be very useful. Morgan is now pushing and approaching the new chicane. Let's see if he does the same mistake. He was very close to the wall, but just clipping it and just enough to not DNF. He's improving slightly by 88 thousandths through the swimming pool chicane. At the moment, this could be a gap good enough for P2. Now breaking into 2nd gear for Askas and Anthony Nog. Very beautiful apex, but a slight oversteer on the exit. Can Morgan claim P2? He does not even try to claim P2, he just shunts it purposely on the finish line for some reason, and that's it. Qualifying is done for the Monaco Grand Prix, and what a qualifying it was. It was absolutely intense from start to finish. Now, sadly, we were not able to see that lap, but a 1:07.1 from Narguillot. I don't know if that's how you pronounce. I'm not good in French. In the Red Bull, 1.3 seconds ahead of P2. He claims pole position with a beautiful lap. Catchers, the current championship leader, we start in P2, Morgan in P3, Felix in P4, Sally P5, Dylan in P6. Then we have Shamul, Phantom Fox, Alex, Pix, Edwin, Jonathan, Mazuka, Scafex, Tom, Aksharik, and always. And that was a rush to try and name everyone for the qualifying the qualifying results and the starting grid for this Monaco Grand Prix. I was told that it would be dry, and there we go. We can see the sun shining on the track, on this extremely short track. I said it was the shortest track of the calendar. That measures exactly in length. Well, first of all, it has 270 meters of not elevation change. I think it's above sea level. I'm not sure. But the length of the track is, let me see, 3.3 kilometers, and I have no idea how many miles of that. So sorry for anyone who uses miles. I think it's mostly UK and USA using miles. But yeah, Niall with a 1.3 seconds gap starting on pole, and with that pace and with that position, it looks like he can definitely claim this win, but he has to keep his car outside the wall for 39 laps, and that is not easy at all. It's the biggest challenge for any single Formula 1 driver racing around Monaco. But the drivers are selecting their strategies, which once again will be a crucial factor in gaining places. But there we go. Everything is done. 4, 5 red lights are on for the Monaco Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go as Niall and Catres go side by side. Actually, no, Niall has a beautiful start. Catres is not able to pull alongside, but Felix and actually Morgan and Sally are pulling in side by side, and we can see all the cars going up into Bourrivage and into Massenet. They go. I don't think I've seen many position changes, if any position places at all. Actually, Felix gained the position on Morgan, so Felix is now up into P3, and now everyone is gonna go into the hairpin. There's gonna be lots of traffic. They need to brake extremely early to try and not rear-end anyone, but they all do that very, very nicely. Niall has had a beautiful start, and he's maintaining the lead. Felix gained a position, so did Phantom Fox, Allen, Edwin, Jonathan, Pigs, and Shamul. Shamul had a terrible start. He's down into P12, but let's look at the tires. It is quite mixed. We have mediums, hards, and 2 softs in the case of Sally and Jonathan, but some drivers are doing hard mediums, others are doing medium hards. We can see a lot of smoke from the drivers locking up their fronts for the difficult braking zones of Raskas and Anthony Nog. And the first lap is already completed, as now obviously sets the fastest lap of the session at 1:14.8. Obviously it's lap 1, so there's still plenty of improvements to come. But I don't think we're gonna see many overtakes. It might just be cars going round and round for 39 laps with no position changes except for strategies. And this is actually very interesting because we've got all compounds, so we have no idea of what strategies these drivers are gonna pull. Now, it is not really crucial. Felix is out of DRS, but it doesn't really mean a lot. I mean, DRS is the shortest DRS straight you have on the calendar, so you literally don't gain anything. But Morgan has already crashed. We have the first crash of this race, and we have a virtual safety car. Morgan, where is he? Why can't I see anything? Oh, there we go. He went completely deep. Oh, okay, I know what happened. Morgan has clipped the first inside wall of the Nouvelle chicane, the first corner of the chicane, clipping the inside wall on the left and destroying his tire. The hopes of a Red Bull 1-2 are now no longer viable. It now can be a Red Bull sandwich with first and last. And Jonathan decides to pit under virtual safety car. He's running the softs and he decides to pit after the first lap. Does he have wing damage? No, this is a strategic pit stop. The VCAP driver is going from softs to hards, and that can actually be a Phantom Fox drive through penalty. Phantom Fox failing to slow down under yellow flags. He was above the delta and he got a drive through penalty, and that's his race pretty much ruined. Such a shame to get such a penalty for speeding under virtual safety car and getting a drive-through penalty. I'm not sure, does he have damage? I think he has. He's missing the right end plate, and that's a race ruined for the Aston Martin driver. But now, going back to Jonathan, this might actually be a smart choice. He's going on the hards, And well, since track position matters a lot more than pace around here, because again you cannot overtake on track. If he does the entire race on hards, everyone has speeds except for him. He could actually jump a lot of drivers. I'm not saying he could win, but he could do something. Now Scafex actually sets the fastest lap of the session with a 1:14.4 on the mediums, and always claims that in the McLaren a 1:14.1. Always currently down in P14 at the moment. But Cat Racer, look at that, he is 4 tenths, 5 to 4 tenths behind Nile. And well, those mediums are definitely faster than the hards at this stage of the race. So he's definitely faster on track. His lap times will definitely be faster than ours, but he will have to finalize that into some overtakes, and they have to happen on track. Like what does Cat Racer do? If he finds out that he's extremely faster, actually Shamul and Pix exchanging positions. I think someone might have gone deep in the breaking of the Nouvelle Chicane, and Pix creeping the wall on the right hand side, but I don't think he has damage. Yes, he does not have damage. Now Naris has the fastest lap on the hards, even faster than the mediums, at 10.9 for the Red Bull driver, and just as he does that, he gaps Cat Racer by a second. So far it's an extremely dominant performance from the Red Bull driver. But now Pix, he's defending from this train behind Shamul, Scafex and Bazooka and Tom as well actually. And well, again, they will need to overtake on track, but you don't really have the space to do that. But we are seeing this little train. I'm not saying DRS train because again DRS matters pretty much nothing around here. But we have this train from P8 down to P12, so 5 cars being very close to each other. Then we have Edwin and Alex, and then we have the top 5 who are not really in a DRS train, and they're not really close, but they have some decent gaps between them. And behind the midfield we have the two McLarens, actually can always, and then Phantom Fox and Jonathan. Phantom Fox who had to serve his drive-through penalty, and Jonathan trying to pit for the hards immediately and trying to pull off a masterclass in strategy. But now Cat Racer sets the fastest lap. He improves on the mediums, and he sets it's not here, it's here, a 10.8, so a tenth faster than Nile. But he's still 1.2 seconds behind, so not really in attacking distance. Now we're on lap 6, so the pit stop window phase it is quite far. I think we will see pit stops around lap 20 or 18 or something like that. And Dylan really riding the wall on the right hand side, braking for the Nouvelle Chicane. Just riding on those little curbs just before the wall, and he is chasing Sully very closely. Sully is on the softs, and I'm not really sure what's the threshold between the softs and the mediums. Like, what's the point where the mediums are actually faster? But look at that, Dylan has a beautiful exit. They actually go side by side, Sully and Dylan through Sandevot. Who's gonna be ahead? Sully has the inside line. Dylan tries to put a switchback, and Sully goes for a mistake, and Dylan goes through. We have actually seen an overtake around Monaco. Well, we have to point out that Sully ghosted for some reason, but we've seen an actual overtake on track around Monaco. Beautiful stuff from Dylan, being committed all the way to the end, and he claims P4 and now probably has a chance of a podium if things keep going well later in the race. We have yellow flags, someone spun, it's Tom with massive wing damage spinning at Casino Square. He has a very damaged front wing, and he's gonna be such a pain to go through the hairpin, but he still does that. But now actually Phantom Fox has a chance of going ahead of him. He has damage as well, but it's lighter than Phantom Fox, than Tom's damage. And if Phantom knows that Tom has damage, he might, oh never mind, Tom just completely goes deeper than the chicane, and Phantom says thank you very much, and he goes up into 14th place. Yes, Tom is missing not only the end plate, but like the half of the wing on the right is just completely missing. So now on lap 8, and now he's just absolutely dominating this Monaco Grand Prix so far. He's 2.6 seconds faster, not faster, ahead of Cat Racer. And again, I'm not really sure what's gonna be the lap where the hards start to become faster than the mediums. So I can't really make any predictions on this strategy and on the eventual position changes we might see. But everyone is pretty far from each other, apart from always chasing his McLaren teammate Aksharik, respectively in 13th and 12th. But we have still this train, Scafix, Shanmul and Pix. There was actually Bazooka and Tom, but Tom, well, he had a crash. Now he's into the pits with new tires and a new front wing. And Bazooka, he's just dropped down. He's now 1.4 seconds behind Scafix. Sully's in the pits, so he's on the softs. And who has wind damage? Does he change it? No, he does not. He's missing the end plate, but he's now strategically going for a pit stop. Soft hard for Sully in Mercedes. With the two McLarens jumping on the exit, it might be close. Sully goes out to the pit lane, and the two McLarens, oh, they go very close to him. But they jump Sully out to the pits. Can Phantom Fox jump Sully? No, he can't, but he has a better exit. He goes side by side through Bourivage. Phantom Fox has the inside. They go wheel to wheel. The Aston Martin and the Mercedes driver, they both have wing damage. Who's gonna be ahead? They still go side by side, and Phantom Fox with a beautiful move overtaking Sully through Bourivage and Massenet. But now going into Mirabeau and into the hairpin, they still go side by side. Sully and Phantom Fox. Phantom has the inside line and slightly squeezes Sully. Sully now has the inside, so now he gets ahead. They need to outbreak each other. They're still battling. Phantom Fox with a switchback coming out the Portiere and now fighting side by side through the tunnel. They go, but Sully stays ahead. And what a battle that was! Sully defending his position coming out of the pit lane, and Phantom Fox, he was on for a beautiful overtake throughout the entirety of Section 1, from Bourivage through Mirabeau. It was one of the most beautiful battles I've seen for position around Monaco, I am not gonna lie. But now Sully, he's definitely faster than Aksharik, and he's gonna have to find a way around him. He knows that he cannot afford to lose too much, but look at that, he's massively faster. It looks like he actually gained something with the DRS. So now Phantom Fox, he goes side by side with Aksharik. There's barely any space for them at all. And I think Phantom Fox might have hit the wall even more. But actually wind damage is still the same. So he overtakes Aksharik, and Sully and Phantom Fox are now close to each other once again. And into 10 laps, we've already seen, I think, 3 overtakes on track on Monaco, and those were some of the most exciting overtakes I've ever seen, I'm not gonna lie. Aksharik slightly ghosting. I think he might have had some oversteer at the end of Sector 1, actually at the end of Mirabeau. And Dylan is pitting! Dylan on the mediums. It might be an early pit stop on the mediums. Does he have wing damage? Let's see. He does not. Oh well, he has damage, but he's not opting to change it, and he goes on fresh hards. So it's a strategic pit stop for Dylan on the mediums, now going on the hards, and we'll be looking forward to go to the end. So at this point, I'm not really sure at what lap the other medium runners will go back into the pits. But now Dylan will have to push very much in his outlap to make his undercut work on the drivers ahead. Pix, Sean and Scafex are still very close to each other. Pix is actually catching back on Edwin, who is ahead of him on all mediums. All mediums against all the hards. 10 laps for both of the compounds, and it does look like the hards are faster. I think it might be soon. Bazooka gets a 3-second time penalty. I think it might be soon for an overtake between Pix and Edwin. Oh, Pix almost rear-ends Edwin. They were very, very close. And Phantom Fox as well gets a 3-second penalty for track limits. Pix is kind of struggling for grip. Shalmul into the pits as well on the mediums. I think this is the laps where the medium runners start to come into the pits. Lap 11 or 12, around that. That is probably the window for the medium runners to go back into the pits and change for new hards. Shalmul rejoins the track in 14th, and the gaps at the front are starting to get really big. There's 6 seconds between Catchers and Niall, 9 seconds between Felix and Catchers, 10 seconds between Alex and Felix. This is not the leader gap, this is the actual interval lap. If you look at the leader gaps, Alex is 26 seconds ahead of, actually behind Niall. So just slightly more than a pit stop. Shamul as well is gonna have to overtake Ashranik, who is gonna slow him down, but now Always and Sally change positions. Now Shamul, Ashranik completely stopping as Shamul overtakes him. Edwin back into the pits. We have another medium runner in the pits as well. This is now the other Haas driver, so both Haases going from mediums to hards. Edwin does not have damage, so he's doing fine so far. And now he goes on the tire that is pretty much the same color as the chassis. White tire and white car, pretty much. Shamul will be able to jump Edwin. Close. Edwin actually stays ahead, but Shamul has a better exit. He's faster. They go side by side through Bourrivage, and Shamul actually has an easy overtake, as he had a much better exit, so the speed was already there in the first place. And he goes ahead of Edwin, currently in P12, but he will be a much higher position later on. Catchers now goes into the pits, so this might actually be, I mean, they're 8 seconds apart. Unless Catchers pulls off a brilliant outlap on the hards, that could work as an undercut for Niall. I mean, that might be just his only chance to try and recover places and recover pace, and Catchers completely drifts through Sandoval on the pit exit, locking the rears. Now slowly, every medium runner is going to the pits for the hards. Felix and Alex are not. Felix, Alex, Always and Akshrik, they are the medium runners who still need to change for the hards. They might have to do that very soon. Scafex comes back on track in P13, jumped by Edwin and Sean. I'm wondering what position will Felix be in after he goes out to the pits. He might actually be behind Bazooka. Well, Bazooka still needs to pit, so does Pix and so does Alex. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's gonna end up. No, actually P3. He should be back in P3 because Alex, Pix and Bazooka still need to pit. But the thing is, Pix and Bazooka will make their pit stops much later into the race. Like probably around lap 25, maybe as late as 25. Alex into the pits now, mediums to hards, and he will get jumped by Sully for sure, but not by Always, so Alex is back in P8. I don't understand why Felix is going so long on those mediums. So we actually lapped Jonathan. I didn't notice it. The two V-Carb teammates, like one V-Carb laps his teammate. Brilliant. Again, I'm not sure what he's doing going so long on those mediums. The only explanation I could give is that he's gambling for a safety car, and a pit stop timed for the safety car could be massive here. It could work just brilliantly if you get it right. Because at this stage, I get that it might be gambling for that, but at the same time he's just losing so much pace compared to the hearts behind. So his position will be just even worse. Like, what's the gap between Felix and Alex? It's 28 seconds approximately. I don't think that's enough for Alex to jump Felix, but I mean, if Felix stays out so much on those all mediums, he's just gonna keep dropping and dropping pace and be slow, and Alex will eventually gain on him. Actually, Sully has a chance of getting on him. And look at just how much Car Chaser gained. The fresh HUDs against the all mediums, the HUDs are infinitely faster. Like, he's gaining approximately 0.2 per corner. He gained about a second in one sector. Car Chaser is infinitely faster than Felix at this moment. 1 second, now it's immediately 9/10, and I think he can go down even to 7/10 after Casino. Yes, even 6/10. Now for Mirbo, down to 4/10 maybe, into the hairpin, that's 1/10. He's getting, so he even rear-ends him. Felix is losing so much time behind those mediums, and look at that, you can see how he's visibly struggling for grip. Car Chaser, oh, I think he gets, oh, Bazooka's crashed! And it's a safety car! Felix, his strategy has worked out perfectly! He stayed out on those mediums and he waited for the safety car, and the safety car came, and he is above Car Chaser and can gain points on him. That is a brilliant strategy, a big gamble, because he was so close for Felix to eventually come back into the pits because he was losing so much time. Oh, but actually no, Car Chaser stays out. I didn't consider that, so Felix now goes under hards. What? Oh, Felix is gonna pit because he hasn't made a pit stop. Dylan might stay out. No, he's into the pits. And Dylan is going for me. I think I get what Car Chaser would have done. Like, with the amount of laps, maybe the mediums could have held on. I'm not really sure. And Phantom Fox gets another drive-through penalty. Phantom, what are you doing, mate? He got 2 drive-throughs in a row. I mean, there's no chance he can recover this race now. Dylan is actually changing the front wing as well, so Tom jumps Dylan. Niall goes into the pits for mediums. And I think Bazooka's crash might be due to an overtake Dylan made, and that actually might explain his wing damage. I think Dylan and Bazooka were close, and Dylan tried for an overtake, and maybe pushed Bazooka into the wall. I'm not really sure. So Niall is now behind the safety car, and ooh, this is more than massive. Niall has 2 lapped cars between himself and Car Chaser. Action Rick and Jonathan, they are lapped, and well, for some reason the game does not allow to unlap yourself on a safety car for some reason. It just won't let you do that no matter what. And Car Chaser has 2 lapped cars. Like, any possible chance that he could have had of overtaking Niall or try and jump him or whatever, it is pretty much gone with those two lap cars. Granted, they will ghost, but at the safety car restart, the gap between Niall and Kart Racer will be like, what is it right now? 2 seconds. Niall will have a jump start of 2 seconds and even more because those mediums are definitely faster, so it will just keep going upwards from 2 seconds. And yeah, any hope that Kart Racer could have had of overtaking Niall is pretty much gone at this stage. Felix has got up too, so now we have Sully, and there is another lapped McLaren car. There is Action Rick. Oh, Action Rick actually removed himself from this from the safety car group. So now there is only Jonathan between Kart Racer and Niall. That's one less, but it's still one more than necessary. So now we can see, oh actually now the McLaren of Action Rick, I reckon, is between Alex and Pix. Yes, Action Rick is, I mean Pix won't be happy about that one because he has a very slow lap car ahead of him. And there was a winglet flying from the Aston Martin. Pix got damage. What? Did Pix just get damage under safety car? I just saw a piece of wing flying and I have no idea of which car that came from. Hey, it's Pix! How is Pix gotten damage under safety car? And it stays out! Well, maybe he's just missing the end plate. I mean, he is missing the end plate. Maybe he's not stopping. No, it looks like his entire half front wing is missing on the right hand side, not just the end plate. So, Shalmul and everyone behind won't be happy about that one because Pix is gonna be so painfully slow after the restart. And they have to overtake him on track. And there are so many lapped cars in this safety car group. Or are they? Is it just Jonathan? I'm not sure. So we got Niall, and Jonathan is behind Niall. So Niall, Jonathan, Kart Racer, Felix, Sully, Alex, Action Rick, Pix, Shanmol, Edwin, Scafex, Phantom Fox, Dylan, Always, and Tom. So yeah, Jonathan and Action Rick are lapped, and Phantom Fox he still has the drive-through. Yes, 2 drive-through in the same race. I don't know how that happens. It just does. Safety car in this lap, resuming on lap 21. So we will have what is it? After when lap 22 starts, it's 18 laps of racing. So Niall will lead this safety car restart with the lap jar of Jonathan behind, and Kart Racer will look forward to get past him as soon as possible. He actually even clips the wall, Jonathan. So Kart Racer is already trying to push to the limit. He's ghosting, so he's not gonna have to worry about making contact with him to try and overtake him. But now the gap is 1.3 seconds, and I am afraid it will just keep going upwards. It's 1.4 now. 1.5, I mean, yeah, just faster tires and faster driver for what we've seen in qualifying. So, yeah. But Felix is now lapping his teammate again and chasing his main rival. As of now, he's losing 3 points, so the points will be 16 after this race. So Pix gets a track limits penalty, 3 seconds for Pix. Actually, what about Shamul? he has a car with wing damage and a track limit penalty ahead of him. He cannot afford to be slowed down that much. He needs to get faster, but at the same time he's not significantly faster than him. Ooh, but Pix just keeps going into the wall. Sharmul needs to find a gap somewhere around the track. Edwin now gets a track limit penalty as well. And Phantom Fox just, I don't know if he disconnected or left the race. The Aston Martin end plate just completely rides the wheels of Sharmul. Does Pix have a wing at all? Does he have a wing at all? I mean, he has no end plates. His left side is completely missing, and his right hand side just missing the end plate. Like, he's missing the flaps on the left hand side. There's just barely a piece of carbon on the front end. But now, ooh, Dylan and Scarface going side by side through Mirabo. Dylan on the inside, he has the better tire, and he overtakes the Alpine. And look at that, the traffic is so slow through the hairpin. And this traffic is just being created by Pix. Shamul needs to get past as soon as possible. He's burning energy as much as possible. He tries to find a gap and they make contact, and can he still make the corner? They go very, very slow, but Shamul, he overtook Pix. Finally going very, very slow through the Nouvelle chicane, and now Edwin will lose a lot of time from Pix ahead. I mean, because of Pix ahead. Dylan gets another penalty. Did he have another penalty already? Yes, 6 seconds for Dylan, and Pix is finally pitching. Now the two Hasses will fight for position, fighting for P7 and 8. Actually no, because Edwin has 3 seconds and Dylan has 6. But Dylan looks like to be faster. He is definitely faster. He has the mediums, and Edwin just lets him go very, very easily to avoid the crash. And let's see, maybe if Dylan is able to... Ooh, but actually, Scarface and Edwin are fighting all of a sudden. I have no idea where Scarface came from, but they go side by side through Mirabo. Edwin standing on the brakes and causes contact. Edwin and Scarface go deep into the wall at Mirabo, and I am afraid that might have been Edwin's fault, going deep under the brakes. He's missing both end plates, and Scarface just was stuck from Edwin on the right. And I am afraid it will be Edwin's penalty in that case. So Scarface in P10, and he has to gain 3.9 seconds from always ahead. Tom, in all of this, he was terrible in qualifying, but he has recovered up into P8. I mean, we have seen so many position changes due to the strategy, but even like actual overtakes happen on the track. I would not have expected it. Just look at that, Tom gains 7 places, always gain 8, Scarface retires in the pits. His race was just pretty much ruined by Edwin, and Edwin goes into the pits to change his front wing. So Pix will now go up into P10, no, P11. He still has Phantom Fox ahead of him. Did Phantom have the drive-thru? Oh yes, he did. Well, he's still in P10, so he's still scoring points. It was a terrible race, but he's still scoring points. Catchers are absolutely not gaining anything on Nile at the moment. 6.7 seconds separate the two of them. And Phantom Fox gets yet another penalty. He's just stacking as many penalties as he can get, whether it's track limits or drive-through. He is not stopping today. So Nile is just completely dominated, and Catchers is in P2, Felix in P3. His strategy could have worked to try and gain points, but wasn't the case. So it's just P3 for Felix. Losing 3 points, that means the gap will be to 16 points, and there are 3 races left. And oh, also, I didn't mention, this is finally the last race of the street track cycle of the calendar, because since round number 5 we've had all street tracks. street tracks after street tracks all in a row, but this is the last track that completes the cycle, because after that we will go on to Mexico, which, well, it's not my favorite track, but it is a natural racing track. Like you can fit 5 cars on the main straight, so yeah. In the meanwhile, we did see Sully get a track limits penalty as well. Drivers are actually being caught off guard with those penalties, and there is yellow flags. Who is that? It's a Vika with Jonathan. Jonathan hits in the pit wall. I didn't got that on camera, but Jonathan has hit the pit wall. So many drivers are being caught off guard with those track limits penalties. Alex has 3, Sully got his 3 seconds recently, his first 3 seconds. Dylan has 6, Phantom has 6, and had to serve due to 2 drive-through penalties. Pix has 3, Edwin has 3, and Jonathan has 12. So lap 28 out of 39, we are missing 11 laps and a half to this race. It doesn't look like the only car in DRS of the car ahead is Dylan, currently chasing Sean Moore. Dylan has 6 seconds, but on track he's chasing Sean Moore. I don't know if he's faster than him, because he has 10 laps old mediums. Sean Moore has 16 laps old hards. And there is the Mercedes of Tom just behind. He will finish ahead of Dylan with the penalty. And there is a Haas in the wall, it's Edwin. Edwin going in with no front wing at all, and he has brought out the virtual safety car. And I don't think we will see any pit stops. We've got Alex close to the pit wall, but yeah, he stays out. So does Sally, so does Sean, I guess. Dylan, some, yeah, there's not really anything you can gain from a pit stop now. With the VSC, and Edwin has just no front wing at all, driving through the hairpin and through Mirabon Portier. I'm gonna laugh so hard if Phantom Fox gets another drive-through. I hope he doesn't, for his sake, but it would be so funny. It doesn't look like he's under the delta. You need to brake early for that. You need to brake very early to not get a drive-through on the VSC. Please, Phantom Fox, please don't. Don't get another penalty. Oh, Tom actually got a penalty now. A drive-through for 300 VSC, and that's his chance of getting points in P8, actually P7 if he finished ahead of Dylan with the track limits penalty. Now Tom will drop down out of the points. So that's one more place for Phantom Fox up in P9, and Pix will now finish in the points probably. I don't know if he's too far for that. So Dylan theoretically looks to be safe in P7 because some will drop down out of the points, but always might be just enough in those 6 seconds to finish ahead of Dylan. So Dylan definitely can have a chill drive as of now. And if he could overtake Shamul, that would be a safe bet, so that always doesn't overtake you later with a penalty. At the same time, do you really want to risk anything overtaking Shamul on track? Like, is it even worth it? If you try and overtake and maybe you make the situation even worse if you cause a crash. So there we go, Tom in the pit for his drive-through. I don't think Pix will be able to jump him. Phantom Vox definitely will. But actually Pix dropped down behind always. I missed that. Oh, Pix is back into the pits, never mind. Will always jump Tom. No, he hasn't. No, wait, No, he has jumped down. I was looking at Action Rick. There are so many lapped cars, I'm just getting confused at this stage. So Pix is going on the softs, he's going to attempt the fastest lap, so is Edwin. And Edwin is lapped, so he won't have to worry about traffic to set his fastest lap. But yeah, he can definitely try and unlap himself from Alex ahead, and it's not gonna be an issue because he's ghosting. Oh, he even has the DRS, that's perfect for his lap. Dylan has not lost DRS to Shamul. I mean, not that it matters a lot, but he has lost DRS, so just a quick update on that. Lap 32 out of 39. Niall has been in complete control of this race from start to finish, but he still has to bring it home with 8 laps left. And look at those gaps between the back markers. Like, the gap is interval. This is not the leader, but you can see 33 seconds between Pix and Tom, while Pix is lapped. Edwin is lapped. I mean, the gaps between the lapped cars are actually funny, I'm not gonna lie. To be fair, they have made some extra pit stops, like Pix and Edwin, for the fastest lap, but it's just so fair. Edwin has crashed! Safety car! Virtual safety car. No, it's a safety car. It's a full course safety car. Look at the map. A full course safety car so late into this race. This has changed everything. Not Sean, Edwin. Edwin was attempting the fastest lap and crashed at Sandbot, and that has brought the safety car out. This has completely changed everything. Tom is in the pits. So is Phantom, and lapped cars will be a big issue when everyone lines up behind the safety car. Are there any lapped cars between Catchers and Niall? Yes, there is Jonathan. There is Jonathan in between. What does Jonathan do? Does he stay out? He's on almost new minutes. Yes, he stays out. Okay, so Catch Racer now is finally... Yeah, he's actually ahead of Niall. Niall pits for the softs. And Catch Racer jumped him. This is a perfect setup for one heck of a finale. Catch Racer, he knows that this is Monaco. He knows that track position is key. Pix has crashed. I have no idea where and I have no idea how. No, maybe in the pit lane. Yes, he's in the pit lane. Okay, so this is a perfect setup for the final laps. Does Felix jump Sean? They're so close. Yes, Felix is ahead. Okay, so Catch Racer, he knows that this is Monaco, and he knows the track position is much more important than the tires, because I mean it is almost difficult, almost impossible to overtake. But at the same time, Catch Racer has 20 laps all hards. Niall has fresh softs. I get that it's impossible to overtake around Monaco, but given what we've seen so far, we've actually seen many overtakes on track in this race. I wouldn't rule out Nile being able to overtake Catchracer on track and get the win, but Catchracer will have to pull off a crazy defensive masterclass to defend himself. He will need to pretty much cover every single apex to avoid Nile overtaking him. This is a perfect setup for this finale. Such a late safety car, and this is gonna play a huge part into this race result. The game is still showing a virtual safety car, while I can clearly see a safety car that is not virtual. So as of now, there are no lap cars between the leaders. Everything is good, down to Sully. Always as well, then Phantom Fox, then Tom, then Dylan, Jonathan and Ashrike. They actually unlapped themselves. I have no idea how, but they unlapped themselves. Jonathan stayed out, so that played a part. But actually quitted. Not sure, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Lap 33, 34 actually. And I'm not sure if Actionik is gonna catch the pack before the end of this lap. Because if that's the case, we might have the safety car out on lap 35 too. No, it looks too far. Wait. Oh, okay. Jonathan and Actionrik, they are a lap down from the car. They are lapped from the cars ahead. But like they're not interfering with anyone. Yeah, also because the interval between Jonathan and Dylan is stuck to 9/10, which is clearly not 9/10. Oh yes, the leader says 1 minute and 9 seconds, so yeah. They are in their correct position, but just a full lap down. Oh, actually has wing damage. I have no idea how. But the safety car is in this lap. There we go. At the end of lap 36, we will have 3 laps of actual racing. Alex has crashed under safety car. I have no idea what happened, but Alex has crashed at the swimming pool section. Catchracer is leading this extremely late safety car restart, and he has gone 23 laps all hards against 3 laps all softs. Will Nile have a better run on Catchracer? Immediately after turn 1, Nile and Catchracer go side by side through Buribaj and Massenet. I think it was going to be an easy overtake for Nile, who takes the lead, but actually brushes the wall on the left hand side. side. I don't know if he has win average, but he has taken the lead with a very easy move. But now Felix on those softs, he's gonna also have to use this chance to overtake Car Chaser as soon as possible. If he can get a better exit out of Portier, that might be a huge gain in the Drivers' Championship. Let's see, does he have the better run? He's using the overtake mode. Does he go on the inside? No, he's trying to scare Car Chaser, and he does that very well. He tries somewhat of a switchback. Does he have a better run? It's doing Sebastian. No, he does not. He backs out. It was very close to an overtake, but that actually never happened. Tom gets a track limits penalty. I think I saw some cars going side by side through the hairpin. They were actually fighting for position. Phantom Fox still has damage. Alex in the middle has crashed at the swimming pool section, and I have no idea how. It was under safety car. But now Felix, almost rear-end Car Chaser, but doesn't thankfully ruin his race. DRS is enabled on the penultimate lap. Felix will still look forward for any chance that he can get to attack Car Chaser, maybe on the inside of Mirabel. No, he's way too far behind, so he needs to find a gap as soon as possible, while Car Chaser needs to defend. Both Williams are actually defending on extremely old hards, and at the moment they are doing very well. Felix will try to overtake Car Chaser. Sully will try to overtake Shamul, but Sully actually has the penalty, but is not fighting for the championship. Felix is, on the other hand, fighting for the championship, and Car Chaser locks up. He goes deep, and a beautiful switchback from Felix to get P2 out of Car Chaser's hands, overtaking him at the newest chicane with a beautiful switchback. He now claims 18 points from this Grand Prix, and a crucial 3 points gain for the gap to go down from 13 points to 10 points, with 3 races left to go after this one. Felix's chances of a 5th title are not over yet. Felix and Car Chaser are both fighting for a 5th title, and this race in Monaco will have played a crucial part by the end of the championship. Sully is still trying to go side by side with Shamul to try and overtake him, because maybe he could gap him if he finds enough time into the corners. But now we are starting the last lap. 39 out of 39. Niall Guyot has been in complete control of this race from start to finish. Sully, he's oversteering all over the place through Portier, and he's fighting for a non-shot P4, but he's actually gonna get dropped down many places, so always will claim P5 out of all of this. But Niall Guyot reserving for Red Bull. He went into qualifying, qualified on pole position, 1.3 seconds ahead of Car Chaser, did not make a single mistake all race long, dominating here in Monaco. He wins the Monaco Grand Prix. Felix, crucially for his championship, and with a beautiful move and a beautiful strategy, he claims P2 ahead of his main rival Car Chaser, who still finishes on the podium in P3. Sean Mull brings his Williams up into P4, always with a beautiful race. Consistency, consistent all the way through in P5. Then we have Sully, Tom, Phantom Fox, and we will have to see the rest of the results at the end of the podium celebrations. But what a race that was! It was an extremely exciting qualifying session in Monaco, but the race, I thought we would just see a crusade of cars going round and round with no overtakes, but there were actually so many overtakes, both off and on track, so it was a brilliant race from start to finish. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and Niall has the privilege of lifting the golden Monaco Circuit trophy on his hand to get those 25 points. A beautiful performance for him, and a very deserved race win for the Red Bull Reserve. But the two main championship rivals, despite all of the difficult circumstances they have had to encounter all race long, they still stand strong on the podium. Niall, even with the fastest lap, 26 points for him, but Felix, indeed, 18 points for him, 15 points for Car Chaser. It's a 3 points gain, and the gap is now down to 10 points. Sean Muller brings his Williams up into P4, always from P17 to P5, just made no mistakes. He was consistent all the way through. He is my driver of the day, and it's a very, very deserved P5 for him. Massive congratulations to him as well. Sully in P6, Tom in P7, Phantom Fox, despite the 2 drive-thrus, he's still in P8. Dylan in P9, and Aksharik claims the last point in P10 for the Monaco Grand Prix. And wow, what a race this has been. I did not expect it to be such fun, so I very, very enjoyed it and was very, very glad to have commentated that. But yeah, we have finally finished the street track cycle of this calendar here in season 15. So we will be back next Saturday for the Mexican Grand Prix, and we will see how this championship fight, the 2 Titans fighting both for their 5th title. It's exactly like Vettel and Hamilton in 2019. Yes, 2019, both fighting for the 5th title. This is exactly the same thing, and we will see how that evolves next week around Mexico. Thank you for watching tonight's stream, and we will see you again for F1 Total Division 1.